Hello there, long time no see. In this video, I'm going to take you through my entire sewing journey, basically like 8 or 9 years of sewing experience. And I'm going to try everything on, show you, give you some backstory. And since it's been 2 years since my last sewing video, I've actually sewn a bunch of things, sewed some things in college. My skills really upgraded, and I thought I'd catch you up on it. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing I ever really sewed with a sewing machine, with a lot of help from my mom, was when I was around 10. We had like an economics unit and we had to make and sell stuff. And I made pet rock kits and I sewed little designer pouches for the rocks. Then after that, I used some pattern online and sewed a little stuffed bird. And then the next thing I sewed was this maxi dress. It's literally just 2 rectangles sewed together with the armholes and neck hole like as raw edges unsewed. Okay, so the next thing I sewed were shift dresses, and I guess I followed a pattern, or it just said to like use your measurements or something. Yeah, they do not fit me anymore since I made them when I was like 10. Next thing I sewed were some green plaid pajama pants, and they were pretty cool. I wore them as pajama pants for a while. Now we have something I can actually try on. This dark blue flowered dress was my first time really learning how to follow a pattern. My mom helped teach me how to use a pattern, and I'm really impressed with this dress. So after that, I wanted to sew something just kind of like spur of the moment all by myself. So I made like an Alice in Wonderland kind of dress. You just have to squeeze into it because it's just made out of rectangles and stuff. Next is my first Star Wars costume. I wanted to make something out of fabric we had lying around, and I was getting into Star Wars, so I made this. I think I used a robe pattern to make the brown part and then made big rectangles for everything else. It even has a little loop to hook your lightsaber on. The next thing I sewed was Doomslug, and she is a character in the Skyward book series by Brandon Sanderson. She's like a little alien slug named Doomslug. So I just got some random scraps and made up a pattern. I love her. Next is my pink curtain dress. I'm pretty impressed by it. I should wear it more. I like the bow and the colors. Next is my classic Ahsoka costume. I'm surprised this has held up, considering it's literally made of cardboard and hot glue. I've done the face paint a couple times for this whole costume, and it's pretty fun. Even though this costume is very low tech, it has a special place in my heart, and I still feel like an epic warrior whenever I wear it. Here we have Cinderella. This is supposed to be the dress from the 2015 live-action Cinderella, but it's made out of a bed sheet. It's not super fancy, but I'm impressed with the boning on the bodice, and I like the butterflies. Next is my Ariana dress. I love the channel Makara Tours. She does sewing, and I wanted to follow one of her videos, and one was sewing Ariana Grande's wedding dress. And I just kind of followed that and made this black and white thing. Next is a Hava from Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson, and this dress is made out of a curtain and a pillowcase. I really like this dress still. I love the color and the fit. The inside has a lot of raw edges, but I still like to wear it. Here's this black prom dress I made. It's pretty cool. When I was trying it on, I was like, wow, little me used to dream about making big, shiny, floofy dresses, and here I am in one I made. Next we have Omega from The Bad Batch. Fun fact, in college, they had a meeting where they said to bring the weirdest thing we brought to college, and I wore this costume to it. They asked why I brought it, and I was just like, I don't know, it's just always good to have a Star Wars costume around, you know? Okay, and then at some point maybe I was watching a lot of like Bernadette Banner and stuff. I made an actual corset. It's from a pattern I got online, and I did like real boning on the inside, but no grommets, just like these little ribbon loops. Next we have a cloak I made out of a curtain. It's very easy. It's just a half circle. You can watch the video where I made this on my channel. It's very versatile for Star Wars costumes, fantasy costumes, everything in between. So one day I wanted to make something I could wear around rather than a costume, so I used some jean scraps to make a vest. And at the time, I was making a Golden Guard emblem from the show The Owl House out of felt, and I decided to sew it onto the back. I was inspired by the channel Bella Mae's Designs series where she makes red carpet looks for fictional characters, and I made an Ahsoka-inspired dress. The back is supposed to be the most inspired by her. It has all these diagonal lines, and I also made some cool gloves. I decided I need more Jedi costume options besides the bright orange tan robe thing, so I made these gray pieces to mix and match with tan, brown, and black outfits for both a Sith or a Jedi, or like a gray Jedi. For this dress, I followed Makara Tours' 18th century dress tutorial. I'm actually pretty proud of this. I love the blue and the white and the colors. I'm not super into historical fashion, but I think I succeeded in making this historical outfit something I enjoy. A new book in my favorite series, Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, came out, and I wanted to make the outfit shown on the cover. I'm pretty impressed with how intricate this costume is. So for a while I was able to go to historical dance classes, and they had a Christmas 1800s ball, so of course I wanted to sew something. I made this silver and black ball gown. I really like the ribbon bows on the skirt, and I'm glad I got to sew something and wear it to the ball. It was really fun. So around this time, I had a friend who was having her birthday, and I wanted to make her something, so I cut up a bunch of thrifted dark blue shirts and stuff and made them into a dress for her. And then she's a big fan of Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson, and in that there's like different groups of magic people, and she's a windrunner. So I embroidered the logo onto the dress, and I embroidered the motto on the edge of the skirt. So someone just like donated a big red sheet to me, and I followed a video from the channel Snappy Dragon to make a medieval dress. I like how flowy it is. It's probably the most historically accurate thing I have made because she used like an actual like pattern, and I love how it's just made of rectangles and triangles, and I hand embroidered the lacing holes on the sides. I forgot about that. Next is this Loki themed prom dress thing. I don't know, that was kind of the inspiration. It's made out of sheets and graduation gowns from thrift stores. It has really big pockets, which is cool. And then at some point, I wanted to make a mist cloak from the book Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I got some curtains from Walmart, and it's literally just like a half circle and then cut up into strips and then a hood. This is the Sound of Music 16 going on 17 dress, which I have a video of how I made it on this channel. I love it. It's maximum twirly. I did not do great with the lining pattern though. I can barely breathe in it, so maybe someday I'll fix that, but I'm still pretty proud of it. This is my homecoming dress I made. I'm homeschooled, but I got to go to a real live homecoming, which was exciting, and I made this dress. I love it, and it feels very me. It has pockets and it's sparkly, and it's made out of a sheet and a curtain. Then Halloween was coming up, so I made a Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen costume. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite movie, so I had to make this. And fun fact, I also wore this when I went to the theater to watch Across the Spider-Verse. I made the webs by making long tubes of teal fabric and gluing them crisscrossing. I also covered shoes in teal fabric to make her ballet shoes. I made this skirt from a curtain and wore it for my graduation. I kind of hate it. I just like made up the pattern, and I did the darts weird, and I sewed the lining to the outer skirt, which I don't think you're really supposed to do on the skirt, or at least I didn't know how to do it right. But the main point was that it had really big pockets, so I guess I succeeded in that. Next is my prom dress. Woo! So this was all made out of white fabric that I dyed, including like ombre dyeing the skirt. I'm pretty proud of that, but I'm disappointed in how the bodice turned out, and the skirt is super heavy, but I got pretty pictures. That's all that matters. So in my church, when you go to the temple, you get to wear white, so I thought it'd be fun to sew something for that. This dress uses kind of the same pattern as the green Hava dress, but there's so many mistakes. The neck is too high and it feels like I'm choking. The pockets are too small, the sleeves are too tight, but I guess it fits nice. But I ended up getting a different dress to wear so I would be more comfortable. Now we're getting into things I made in my college sewing classes. I'm not a fashion major, but I took some sewing classes for fun. It was crazy. We had to actually follow sewing patterns and be graded on it. It kind of messed me up. I used to just throw up whatever I felt like, but now I kind of need an actual pattern when I sew, but also things fit better, which is nice. First, I made a fanny pack. I kind of wish the zippers and straps weren't black, but if you didn't use the black ones, you had to buy your own, and I didn't feel like spending the money. Then I made this nice fuzzy hoodie. I really like it. It has all this top stitching and it's all fuzzy. Next, we needed to make a tailored shirt, but I wasn't over cheaper and made a shirt dress. This is 100% linen, and I learned all these fancy collar and cuff techniques. Also, it has 4 pockets. Okay, then my brother wanted me to make him a Halloween costume, and he wanted to be the purple guy from Five Nights at Freddy's. And from what he told me, the purple guy is there's a backstory that's all pixelated, and it shows the main villain as just this purple pixel guy. And my brother wanted a vest and pants and a tie to look all purple. So I made that. I just used a pattern and I made that for him while I was at college. On Christmas break, I had the urge to sew and I missed my sewing room, so I grabbed a pattern we had and whipped this brown pattern shirt up in a few days. The next semester, I took a knits and swimwear class. I made this very nice t-shirt. It's got stabilizers and I used cover stitching and serging, and it's just very fancy. It's the only thing in this video that I've actually worn in the last week. We had to make a second knit project, so I made this pretty green dress. It's supposed to be kind of like forest ranger vibes, serged on the inside, and it fits well, and it has pockets. I like it. And then, since I took the knits and swimwear class, we had to make swimsuits. I made this. It's just very me and super comfy, and I love the parrots. And then my last project for that class, I found a pattern and I made this. And I just love how it's ultimate comfort. You can just swim to your heart's content. It's just really nice to know how to make swimsuits. Alright, I think that's everything. That's over 40 things from age 10 to 19. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed seeing me try all of them on. I'm hoping to have some sewing projects and videos coming up. Consider subscribing. Thanks for watching!